Right, let's get started on this video then, shall we? Nice and easy, quick and simple. Ethereum made a new local high yesterday, and I put on the Telegram that it looks like Ethereum is going to lead the market. Obviously, Bitcoin down, Ethereum up. We've been thinking about this for a little bit now on the dominance chart when we got our next level of rejection around here. It's very similar to how we behaved in the first place before we broke out of here. So 1, 2, 3 rejection, and then the fourth one we broke out. So we've managed to get down below the 20 weekly on the dominance chart as well. And if you take it to a daily, you can see that we're down below most moving averages, heading towards the 200 exponential, which is the next level where I'll be looking for a bounce, which is roughly around 51.76% dominance. If we take our way down to a weekly, if we lose that area, we're talking just below 50% dominance, where we do have a golden cross on simple moving averages, not exponentials. Our retest of that is going to be just below 50. So that is the setup for the dominance chart, which is making me feel as though markets are going to follow Ethereum for a little while. Ethereum is going to, do its thing, and maybe I'll be targeting 3,400 on this one, but not before a pullback, I would say. So, and not to ruin everybody's party or anything like that, but just the way it looks right now, we've got 1, 2 drives, bearish divergence, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the money flow index. Got a trend line over here that I would expect to see a rejection from if we started to move up from it. And if that's the case, then you'll be looking to enter, if you were super bullish, on the first opportunity being a 10 exponential, which is sitting around 2,956. The centre of the Bollinger Band on the daily, 2,789, which is a better area because the 2,800 was a support, stroke resistance, so it should be support by now. So that would be a better place to enter into it if it were to. But just to play devil's advocate, there has been a golden cross, and we've not retested the lower zone of that. And that 200 exponential is all the way down here at a whopping 28.5% move down. So I'm not saying that's where we're going to go, but if we did see that, if that did actually happen, you would actually be looking to buy that. Maybe even long it, because that's a major support all the way down there that hasn't been retested since the golden cross is generated. When you get these setups, it's often the case, not always the case, that you get a V-shaped recovery from there, which means that a bounce from 2,200, sorry, all the way back up to 3,000 would be what you'd expect, a V-shaped recovery to the area that was lost, and maybe even continuation on after that. So that would be epic. Now, don't hold out for that just because I've said it. It's something you have to put it in your mind that there's a possibility. Doesn't mean that is what's definitely going to happen. I just wanted to put it out there that we could drop by 28% on Ethereum and actually V-shaped recovery out of that, which would be a great move. So it's just something to think about. This is what I think a lot of the Captain Noob Masters and stuff who watch this chart, watch my videos and stuff like that, don't quite understand. When you make trades, when you're a trader, right, so you trade for a living, you don't just have one setup, right? You don't just have one particular plan. You have a variety of different outcomes that could materialize. So you don't get caught off guard. You look at this and think, okay, so this could happen, and this could happen, right? And what would I prefer to happen? Obviously, I would prefer to see a massive drop down and a V-shaped recovery. That was what I'd love to happen. Doesn't mean just because I want that to happen doesn't mean it's going to. But I am aware that it could happen, and if it does, I need to make sure that I'm able to take advantage of that. What's probably the more likely thing to happen is that we drop down to any of these two and then bounce from there and continue on, because this is a bullish chart. All markets appear to be resilient at this level. Stocks as well. Everybody's still trying to buy each dip, so it might be that props it up, and we don't come down to those levels. But if we did come down, I'd still, like I say, I thought about it. It's not that I expected it, but it's a possibility, and it's a possibility that I'd rather be ready for in case. Look, you know what I'm saying. There's not one outcome, there's a variety of outcomes. Anything could happen, I've got to be prepared for each eventuality. So that is one thing. Now, if that did happen, I would play the Ethereum chart. But if these dips happen, I will play other altcoins because they are still positioned in a much more aggressive way, and they would likely see much bigger gains than Ethereum. But if this happened, I would play the Ethereum chart rather than any other altcoin, because this is the chart that's gonna, this is the chart that's moving the market. It would appear at the moment. Bitcoin taking a bit of a step back. We've got a descending resistance trend line here, and it's obviously going to be a problem until we break it. Each day that goes by, it's going to be lower and lower and lower. As of today, the resistance is 51,687, thereabouts. No real reason for it to break out, no real reason for it to expect to break down. And if you look at this in the form of a descending triangle, it's got plenty of time before it resolves this. The apex is miles away because it's such a small trend line. When it comes to momentum, we are sort of tipping down below the 0 point. So if we did break down below here, the next major area to buy it from would be 48,000, which is a fair old drop for Bitcoin, to be honest. It's a fair drop if we were to measure that. That would be just short of a 6% move from where we're at right now. Again, you'd be looking to buy that dip, pick it up from there if you wanted it. So today I'd say is a watch and wait, see how deep we go. The charts are all very bullish, so I wouldn't expect chaos. But if chaos does happen, it's definitely an opportunity, one that could resolve in a V-shaped recovery of both Bitcoin and Ethereum, and with that would be the rest of the market. So there's not much more to say until American markets open. We've got US 500, so this is obviously the equivalent of a futures market, still basically trying to move back up again. It's neither here nor there, it's basically unchanged. So we might be looking at a bit of a dull day today, not really expecting anything massive, but if there was dips given to us in crypto from Ethereum's perspective, that would be an indicator in itself that other altcoins will follow. And as we're seeing the dominance chart sort of, I suppose, break down, it gives more emphasis to the fact that altcoins are going to have a resurgence, bit of a catch-up period against Bitcoin now, aka famous rotation. I don't think it's going to be an enormous rotation if we're going to get it at all. I mean, we are seeing it, but it's going from Bitcoin to Ethereum, it would appear, rather than, you know, spread across the board into loads of different altcoins. But you know, you can I suppose assume, although that's not a great idea, that it will actually trickle into all other altcoins at some point, but at the moment it's not. So if you were looking to enter into altcoins, you're kind of doing it in a way, it's sort of blindly. Lots of altcoins have lots of different setups, and you can take advantage of those if you want to, but recognize that the driving force is Ethereum, and we are correcting or consolidating on both Ethereum and Bitcoin. So lower prices across the board are likely to be given to us today. Whether you take advantage of those or not is up to you. We've got Ethereum giving us the idea of where these dips can come down to and how deep they can be. And that is how I would, like I say, try to assume the market. So we could be seeing as little as a 3.5% drop for Ethereum to as much as an 8.7% drop. Which you would, I would say again, you know, relatively safely assume that most altcoins will emphasize that drop, and so you'll be looking to see bigger drops on other altcoins as a result of Ethereum pulling back to those levels. But if we do see those, it's a dip to buy, in my opinion, for what would be continuation on Ethereum's chart, and looking to maybe even, well, let's just say think about exiting or limiting exposure when Ethereum makes its way to 3,400 in the short term, because we don't really know how high this chart can really go. But yeah, 3,400 to me would appear to be the range high, and if we break that, then probably even see a new all-time high on Ethereum. But rather than me saying we're going to new all-time high, which is kind of crazy, treat it level by level. So the dip today to be bought tomorrow, to be sold later this week. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.